Okay, y'all, this is a lesson on trust and a lesson on courage. Um, and it was an accidental lesson. It was not intended. To begin, this is the spillway off of the lake. So the spillway goes down and dumps out into the creek. So you have different fishing opportunity into the creek. And so me and my grandson, we have came and fished this area before. But when we came, all of these pines or spruce or wherever these are, they were all small. And my grandson is only 5 years old. I don't know. I'm holding this chest level, so look how tall this stuff had gotten. So anyway, of course I can see over it, so I'm forging forward and he's following me. And you know, he gets a little nervous as we, this stuff starts to get a little thick, but he was fine right here. He was a little worried, but he was fine. He was okay. But as we came further, you're gonna see that this stuff gets a little bit thicker. It gets a little bit thicker. And so, and it's way over his head. Again, I can see, but this is over his head. He can't see. And so when we get somewhere off in the middle of this, I mean, he panics. I mean, and he stopped moving forward, and he couldn't see me, so he didn't know which way to go. So I use a strong, firm voice, and I just called his name, and I told him to come to me. Listen to my voice and come to me. And he did. He instantly stopped being in a stress mode. He calmed down. He came on. We continued. So this part over here, this is where the spillway dumps out into the creek. You know, we haven't had a lot of rain, so it's pretty dry. Okay, so, well, that gave me a bright idea. Well, to fish the creek, we had to climb down here anyway. And you can tell, it's almost, you can tell where someone already done came through here. So this is pretty much the way that you got to come down here to get to the creek. If the water's not too high, you make your way down here. Now, mind you, my grandson is 5. I didn't hold his hand to traverse none of this terrain. I let him do it on his own. The last time we came, the water level was higher, and he and I fished over here to the right. But since the water is so low, you know, I wanted to go further up the creek to see if we can get a better fishing spot. And so when you come over here and look, well, you're not going to get up that creek, go up through that creek, near the creek. The path is up above the creek, up on the hilltop, up on the hillside, I should say. So, all right, there we go. Let's go. So we knew we had to go this way. So I looked ahead and saw the path, and we came over here and we climbed up here. I didn't hold his hand through none of this. Well, through this, what you've seen so far. Whoa, look at that. Look at that snake. You saw that snake? Did you see that snake? That's why I'm talking. Believe it or not, they hear you. They don't want to be bothered with you. They move on out of the way. That's why I don't worry about them. But so anyway, so we came on, and when we was getting over here, I don't know if you could see where all of a sudden paths gets a little, that slope, and it gets slick, and by right, you know, my grandson was panicking, and he was like, oh no, you know, we're not gonna make it. And I had to stop, and I got him to breathe, take 3 deep breaths, and I held his hand. I held his hand firm. I wasn't trying to squeeze the circulation out of his hand, but I wanted him to know that I had him. That I had him. He wasn't going anywhere. And we made it through. We went on over, we fished, whatever, and then we made our way on back. But the moral of the story is, you can't get this online. That type of trust, that type of courage can only be obtained through lived experience. When you're robbing the kids, for the man, when you rob your kids of having you there to show them how to be strong and how to be a man, you dishonor your whole culture. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. You dishonor your whole culture when you do that bullshit. Because you know that it's creating children that can only wind up in prison. And I don't have anything good to say to you for doing that. For the women, when you keep the children from the father, they never learn that there's a strong hand for them to hold on to. So they never test their mettle. They grow their whole lives without ever having trust in anyone. That's why they act the way they do. That's why they're so emotional, because they never learned. That can only become through a lived experience. You can't TED Talk that one. You got to put the father back in these children's lives. It doesn't matter. Y'all slept together. Y'all knew what the hell the potential outcome was. So guess what? Now deal with the damn consequences. I know you hate him. I know he ain't shit. I know he wouldn't have got with you none else, but you was the thought, how many times we got to hear this? But the children don't need to keep suffering behind these bad decisions.